Investigators were first to report on how Lieutenant Monique Patterson's love affair with ex-Chief Warren Evans contributed to his demise. We also exposed her checkered background, a history of temper tantrums, criminal charges, and police reprimands. Tonight, we open a whole new can of worms, this time a crippling car accident and suspicions of a cover-up. Life just isn't the same anymore for 87-year-old Willie Harper. 2 years ago, he was a vibrant man, constantly cruising around the neighborhood on his bicycle. Now the bike is beached in the dining room, and Harper needs a motorized scooter to get around. Too much pain from a torn ligament in his left knee to walk or bike, all from an injury caused when Harper was hit by a car. And not just any car, an unmarked Detroit police car.
I can't say she was going extremely fast, but she was going fast enough to where when the car hit him, it lifted him up and literally knocked him down to the ground.
And what hurts Willie Harper almost as much as the banged-up knee is the behavior of the woman who hit him, Lieutenant Monique Patterson, the woman at the center of the scandal rocking DPD. Harper says Patterson never got out of her car to check on him.
I felt kind of hard because I figured she should ask me how you feel, sir. Can I help you? Do you want a glass of water or something? She never even looked at me. Just took a picture of her car, and that was that.
And there's more. As you'll see in a minute, official police records totally conflict with Willie Harper's version of the accident, and also with this witness, who says she was standing right next to Harper when it happened. Both Harper and the witness suspect a cover-up. It was October of 2008. Willie Harper's granddaughters were out here right in the middle of Grand Boulevard fighting. One was swinging at the other one with a frying pan. Lieutenant Monique Patterson just happened to be coming down the street in her unmarked car on duty. As she approached the scene, witnesses say her eyes were drawn to the women fighting in the street.
Like this the car. And roughly this was Mr. Hart here, because they were fighting in that area.
Shauna Hubert says she was walking home from the store when she witnessed the accident.
She still had the car in drive. I ran to her window, and I beat on her window. I said, "Miss, you see you just hit this guy?" She didn't say anything, so I still seen the car in drive. I proceeded around to the driver window, and I beat on the window again. I said, "You ain't hear me. You just hit this guy." At which time she took her badge out. She said, "Get back away from my car. I'm a police officer."
Shauna Hubert says Patterson immediately got on her cell phone.
She called the police. 2 police officers came.
And guess who was the first cop to arrive on the scene? Are you ready for this? Sources say it was Patterson's boyfriend at the time, Officer John Wills. And Wills' account of the accident is totally different. He said Willie Harper stepped off the curb in front of Patterson's car, shifting the blame to the old man. Did you step off the curb in front of the car?
No, sir. She ran up on the curb.
You're sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Is there any question at all that she came up onto the sidewalk in the grass area and hit him?
There's no question at all.
He didn't step into the street?
He was not in the street at all.
The second cop on the scene filed a report also saying Harper stepped out in front of Patterson's car. And that officer even drew the scenario out on paper. This is her car, and this is the curb that you stepped out in front of the car, off the curb, and she hit you. This is the official police report.
Why would you have to tell a lie? I want to tell the truth. The truth will set you free, and that's what I'm telling you, sir. I'm telling the truth. So help me God.
Harper says no officer at the scene ever asked him what happened. Did they ask you for statements?
No, they didn't ask for any statements. When the police car pulled up, they cleared the scene. And, you know, they asked everybody to leave. They never asked for anybody's names, any statements about what happened, or nothing to that fact.
Willie Harper sued the city, and just a couple weeks ago, City Council approved a $40,000 settlement. Harper says that's not enough to compensate him for the loss of his mobility. But there's something even more important to him than the money.
The most important I would like to have is that officer say, "Sir, I'm sorry that I hit you. Apologize to me."
We left messages for Lieutenant Monique Patterson and Officer John Wills, her former boyfriend, who was first to respond to the accident. Neither of them returned our call seeking comment. The second officer on the scene says Starks, he stands by his accident report, I should say. But then when we asked that officer what was his basis for his contention that Willie Harper stepped out in front of the car, he told us to contact his supervisor, and then he hung up.
Now, Scott, Mr. Harper filed suit and won a settlement, but was this case ever investigated by Internal Affairs?
Well, that's where it gets even more fishy. Mr. Harper told me 2 Internal Affairs detectives came to his house and questioned him after the accident, but I can't find any evidence that the investigation was ever concluded. So the question is, where did it go? And we intend to find out.
Thank you, Scott.